All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. This stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E, live now. We are live now. So as I reported yesterday, Paramount Skydance Corporation is looking to bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, the whole thing. That was broken yesterday. And we want to talk very quickly about the repercussions of that. Then we want to talk a little bit about Free Palestine. And then we want to talk a little bit about some current events that are happening. Okay, so first and foremost, let's look. Remember back in 2021 when Warner Brothers stock was at an all-time high of $77 and something cents. And then, of course, Warner Brothers stock kept on falling and falling and falling. It really wasn't doing anything. Nothing was moving the needle. Well, after this news broke that Warner Brothers Discovery is being bidded to be bought over by Paramount Skydance, Warner Brothers stock went up. It just jumped to $18.88, up $8.23 a share, and that's like 77.16% up. And for the year, if you look at this, is the year to date, from January until September, it's been a tremendous increase. The stock was somewhere around, 10, 11, $12 a share. So it really jumped up really, really high. Shout out to this is a trade that really should happen. Paramount, also Skydance Corporation, they also went up. Their stock went up by 24.56 points per share. That's 38.78%. So that's crazy. And I can tell you right now that that seems to be where the direction in which they will be going. With respect, a little bit more elaboration on that. We're looking right now at, fuck you. We're looking at what the Schwab Network said. Analysts are citing massive debt, regulatory hurdles, content integration, and operational challenges as the primary obstacles in the potential merger between Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD, and Paramount Skydance. Senator Elizabeth Warren has already knocked a potential tie-up as a dangerous concentration of power and warned it must be blocked. She's an asshole. Such a deal would need to be meaningfully better than what Warner Brothers thought the post-spin-up company was worth. Key bank analyst Brandon Nispel wrote. The deal also leads to thousands of job firings through consolidation of businesses like the competing streaming services Paramount Plus and HBO Max. I'm going to tell you this. I'll be glad if they fire a whole set of those incompetent executives. So hopefully they do fire their ass, but keep Abdi and DeLuca. It's already a very concentrated industry to start with, and now you'll have even more concentration. There'll be less competition for streaming. When there's less competition, prices will increase over time. Raymond Seyffer, director of Anderson Center for Economic Research at Chapman University, told Bloomberg. Fuck him. For more market news, tune in to Schwab Network. Okay, so they're trying to oppose that shit, but fuck them as far as I'm concerned. Stephen Adler says all these stocks hit new 52-week highs at some point today. JP Morgan, Micron, Grab, Applovin, Irene, Paramount Skydance stock went up, as we just saw. Warner Brothers Discovery stock went up with the particular potential buyout of Warner Brothers Discovery. I absolutely agree with this, and I think this is coming up because Warner Brothers Discovery failed and Superman was a fucking flop, and James Gunn trying to accelerate all the stuff that's happening in DC with his bullshit is because actually nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see that, and Warner Brothers is not very profitable right now, and they're hurting really bad. And I do hope Paramount Skydance buys over Warner Brothers, or merges, as they like to say. It's technical terms, but really they want to buy them out, and fires a whole set of those incompetent executives, and hopefully puts in place, because Paramount Skydance is bringing back Michael Bay. I think they should bring back Zack Snyder. I think they should continue Constantine. I think they should also continue Matt Reeves, the Batman stories. James Gunn should probably be fired. I don't know if they can. His contract ends a certain time. But quite frankly, I would hope that Paramount Skydance does this move. There's the people, of course, who would like to block that. but it seems as though they have the potential to buy it out, and it looks like they're going to make that move. I think everything's going back to old school. Even with boxing, we see kind of return to old school boxing. When it's whether it's boxing, whether it's entertainment with Paramount, I think that's the way to go. So maybe things will improve in entertainment, or maybe they won't. We'll have to wait and see. James Lee like breaks all the truth on different things. Listen to James.
We're being told that it was not an Israeli conspiracy. It was, according to the FBI, the act of a lone gunman named Tyler Robinson, a deranged lone gunman who just happened to have not one, but two patsies in the crowd. We're also now being told that it was his father, Matt Robinson, now hailed as the father of justice, who turned his son into the authorities. In a press conference shortly thereafter, FBI Director Kash Patel proudly announced that the suspect was apprehended in record time, quote, in less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise. According to CNN, a family member told investigators that Robinson had, quote, become more political in recent years, and that the authorities had also discovered anti-fascist messages engraved on the ammunition. Prime Minister Netanyahu went on Fox News, though, to claim that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a combination of, quote, radical Islamists and ultra-progressives. Now, in terms of the murder weapon, the FBI stated that they found the shooter's rifle in the woods, fully assembled. And here is Robinson caught on CCTV footage making that getaway from the rooftop with said rifle. Yes, people have been telling me that the barrel can be disassembled in seconds, which he then put back together in the woods to hide it from authorities. So yeah, that's it. We got him. Now, no more questions, please.
I just heard an anti-Zionist Christian podcaster say something very interesting. I don't know if I totally agree with this, but it's interesting no less. He said, when America started blessing Israel on May 14th, 1948, what did it get? What did America get since then, since the Nakba? What did America get since 1948? Abortion.
I want to take a second to issue a retraction in regards to...
Okay, we're already 7 minutes in here, people. So I'm not going to try and pretend like I said 5 minutes. So let me see if I can cover this as fast as I can. Did Israel order a hit on Charlie Kirk? And he gave some evidence with that, and then he retracted his statement. But truthfully speaking, David Ellison wants Paramount to swallow Warner Brothers Discovery whole. David Ellison Skydance just completed an $8 billion takeover of Paramount 5 weeks ago. Now it's mulling what would currently be a $70 billion plus deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery in its entirety. I think that's a good idea. I hope they do it. This is not coinkydink, but it is. At 3:02 p.m., Donald Trump says we must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. And at 3:02 p.m. also, Benjamin Netanyahu tweets the same thing. So I gotta say, it feels like a conspiracy, but I'll tell you what I think. I think Charlie Kirk was murdered by Israel. Now, let me explain to you why I say that.
I mean, truly one of the only people to go to the president whom he loved.
Candace always says very wary and suspicious of people who are already telling us to stop asking questions about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Tucker Carlson told Megyn Kelly that Charlie Kirk went to the Oval Office to speak against the war with Iran, and his donors sent him intense messages that Tucker claims Charlie showed him. Here we go.
That was an unpopular position. He didn't need to express it. Oh, of course. And he did it again. He didn't have some weird agenda. He wasn't mad at anybody. He was for his country, and he was for doing the right and wise and difficult thing. And he said that. He went to the Oval Office to say that. He took massive abuse from his own donors, which is also something that you don't see people. And he loved his donors. It wasn't a hostile thing, but they had a different view. A lot of them, not all, but a lot. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me. And he said, look, I understand your perspective. This is my perspective, and we're going to do what we think is the right thing, the wise thing.
In that way, too, he was the voice of young people. I mean, there are no young people in the country anymore supporting this war and wanting Israel to continue its bombing campaign. That's just the truth. Look at the polls. And he was in touch with them. And even where his own opinion may have differed from their opinion, he felt like he owed it to them to bring their message to the sitting president of the United States.
Okay. Let's keep it moving here. Imagine if she was Ukrainian. This is a Palestinian girl who has lost her limbs. AS says 4.0 GPA, white, straight, MAGA family, raised by conservative values and guns, donated to Trump. MAGA spent the last 2 days declaring war on Democrats, and they didn't even do it. Well, I don't even care if it's Democrats or Republicans. The thing I am interested in is why would a MAGA person kill Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk was turning. So I don't believe that. I think he's a patsy, just like the guy who supposedly murdered JFK and so on. It's actually Israel and Mossad that did this. Abir says that's how Israel reached the nuclear reactor scientists, through Iranian Jews who moved to Israel. Kyrie Code ain't sugarcoating a damn thing. Here we go. This is a CIA, former CIA guy.
The Israelis are not like anybody else. They killed a guy in a hotel room in Dubai, and then after they killed him, they were somehow able to lock the door from the inside of the hotel room. There's an underground.
Let's move into the Mossad a little bit.
Okay. This is an apologist for Charlie Kirk, which did not age very well. He was accusing liberals, and it turned out to be a right-wing youth that killed Charlie Kirk, apparently, but I don't think so. I think he's a patsy, a front. Max Blumenthal says, after TPUSA, Kirk was bombarded with infuriated text messages and calls from Netanyahu's wealthy allies in the U.S., including many who had funded TPUSA. According to his longtime friend, the Zionist doers treated Kirk with outright contempt, essentially ordering him to fall back into line. He was told what you are not allowed to do, and it was driving him crazy. The Gray Zone says Charlie Kirk refused Netanyahu's funding offer, was frightened by pro-Israel forces before his death. A longtime friend of Kirk tells the Gray Zone how the late influencer's turning point on Israel provoked a private backlash that left him angry and afraid. So apparently this Charlie Kirk issue is bigger than we thought. Meanwhile, in Israel, Israeli settlers are attacking Palestinians in their homes in the West Bank, unchecked with impunity. These acts of violence are thuggish and inhuman. The silence of the international community is a disgrace. Shame on this world. And Dr. Anastasia Maria says Charlie Kirk said he was an Israeli agent for pushing for the release of the Epstein files, that he was worried about his safety because of right-wing extremists. And you can go ahead and check that interview. This was from the Syrian girl, and basically he was saying, so what do you deduce? Do you think that Epstein was, what do you think he was? And she said he had to be an Israeli informant. Israel is burning Palestinian houses, forcing them to leave their lands. That's in the West Bank once again. Over 1,600 people have been arrested since Labor banned Palestinian action, the first time a nonviolent action group has been prescribed in Britain. The UN has condemned it as disproportionate and unnecessary. Opposing genocide isn't a crime, it's a moral duty. And she talks about priests and NHS workers and so many other people are being arrested. So they're arresting innocent people, and this is crazy. Jeff Epstein fan account says, I wonder who controls this little cocaine addicted puppet that is in the Ukraine. And then you see all these Jewish people backing him. This is Gaza. They terrorize the people on a daily basis, and these are all civilians. Oh, we got a lot more to cover, but we're going to cover it. The quiet part out loud translation. I hope he was Muslim. Listen to this.
For 33 hours. I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, "Hey, we don't do that here." And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. You know, this bad stuff happens.
Okay. Now, here's the jokey part about this.
33 hours.
Fuck. He's actually true. It didn't happen there. It's a foreigner. But the shocker is, it's Israel. But nonetheless, it must be a slap in the face to realize that it was a right-wing MAGA guy who is the patsy, I guess, of the front for the person who supposedly killed Charlie Kirk. Must be a slap in the face. But having said that, he's actually right. It is a foreigner, and it is Israel, and they are the ones doing these things. How Western media dismissed Palestinian journalists as biased. Price increases were broad last month, hitting key items that have been subjected to Trump's tariffs, including apparel, autos, and groceries. Inflation heats up in August as Trump tariffs ripple across the economy. Yeah, so America's killing its own self, and through dumb policies like what Trump is saying. Ryan Rosbiani says 680,000 dead, Gaza's hidden death count. So we're approaching a million people, ladies and gentlemen. They are killing them like crazy. It's not 50,000 people dead now. It's 680,000 people are dead. Okay, let's keep it going. The most moral army in the world is using Charlie Kirk's name to slaughter more Palestinian children. A lady saying, whenever you watch the news and feel like you can't keep watching, you can always turn it off. But remember, people in Gaza are living this reality with no option to turn it off. Powerful. Charlie Kirk was full of shit. Yes, he said a lot of racist things, and I don't want to go into that right now. Jeff Johns is a piece of shit. Let me just show you what this is about. Gotham Central writer Greg Rocker says he was left suicidal due to toxic work environment fostered by DC Comics. Wonder Woman writer Greg Rocker has talked about the toxic world environment he faced under Jeff Johns and Dan Didio, explaining that he was left contemplating suicide due to the way he was treated. Yeah, Jeff Johns is a piece of shit. Here's Henry Cavill's Superman. And this is a child who was bombed. And now this child is not only skinny and but damage done to her spine. She can't breathe. She can't do a lot of things. Yeah, another life destroyed. You guys focus on Charlie Kirk. Well, Palestine. Israel is a political entity, not a synonym for the Jews. Promoting that false equation only fuels anti-Semitism, which is true. Mark Seddon says they're admitting it now. More than 200,000 Palestinian casualties. This is mass murder. It's genocide. Israeli ex-commander confirms Palestinian casualties of more than 200,000. I'm going to end with this. John Mearsheimer, if I went to Israel and I was killed, someone shot me, do you think there would be any accountability? Seriously. If any of you went there and you were killed, do you think there would be any accountability? There wouldn't be. That's how outrageous this is. By the way, a Turkish American was killed on the flotilla that was bombed by Israel. Yeah, they're bombing the flotillas that are coming to save people's lives and give them food. They have no ammunition or anything on them, and they're bombing them recklessly. As I said before, Israel's a rogue state, and the surrounding nations need to correct it, and they need to attack it. If the United Nations will do nothing, then it is up to the surrounding nations to start to attack it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yamza Yusuf, an Israeli said it. It means it's fine. The Guardian to entertain the idea of higher death toll. Doesn't matter what Palestinians have been saying. And it's not 200,000, by the way. Now it's 650,000, and we're approaching 1 million. I guess we're going to have to go to 1 million before these fuckers call it a genocide. Okay, I'm so angry. Dan Blazarian says, Jews have poisoned wells. This is not an anti-Semitic trope. It's a fact. Yeah, Israelis have been poisoning the Palestinian wells. Operation Cast Thy Bread. Yes, Dan Blazarian. They're not Jews. These are demons, and they come from Israel, okay? I'm just saying. Okay, I got one more, and then I'm out of here. Listen, I am not going to change what I say. I'm not going to be intimidated. Nobody's going to, they can try and shadow ban me. I don't give a fuck, because this is the truth, and it needs to be said. Now, with respect to America, fucking ICE is going around and still escorting people and kidnapping people without any fucking charge or anything placed against them. They're still removing citizens and also residents in the United States of America. These fuckers are moving around doing this. Now, when people assassinate some of these motherfuckers, start assassinating government officials, Don't come talking to me because you have been betraying the people. You're betraying the people, and the people will turn against you, and they will fuck you up. This goes without saying. You're looking for a situation to fester so that you can be overthrown. It's very clear to me. You know, you get the people vexed enough, they will attack you and they will take you out. Okay. Sammy says the age of heroes will come again. Paramount Pictures make Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. There you go. There you go. You guys, you're now continuing to believe. I told y'all the Snyderverse will be restored. I told you we would outlive certain regimes. I told you. We're fans. Fans remain, and everything else will change. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got for you. Israel continues to bomb Gaza City. Palestinian families are evacuating from Gaza City in the night. This guy is saying that the assassination of Charlie, he was there when he was asking the question when Charlie got assassinated, and he's traumatized by it, and it would traumatize anybody. And he's saying the approach is not to celebrate his death. Clearly, that's not, you have to be grotesque to do that. Max Burns cites all of the accusations about the left, and then all of a sudden they find out it's a right-wing liberal. All they're talking about lowering the temperature. Hypocrisy. I'm just laughing at that. Okay, the last thing I've got for you guys is the Qassam brigades have taken 30 to 40% of the IDF's D9 armored bulldozers stuck off the battlefield with Yasin strikes and IEDs. Yeah, Hamas is still kicking their ass inside of Palestine, and they're still fighting them in guerrilla warfare, and they're being successful with it. And this is another reason why the Palestinians are kind of notoriously difficult to kill in many respects. All right, this is Charlie Kirk changing his opinion. This is the last thing I'm going to say right now about
simultaneously. I feel the connection to Israel, but at the same time, simultaneously, when the hostile reaction is that now Meghan and Charlie are enemies,
Right.
boy, I'll tell you, like you're not gonna, I wouldn't say lose, but you will weaken and just basically deflate two of your strongest advocates if that continues.
Right. And to me, I laugh because it's like, I've been bullied by the best of them. The best. And it didn't work. And it's not going to work with them. And the more you try to tell me I can't criticize Israel, the more likely I am to do it, to focus on exactly what you're doing, right? Like, what are you doing that you're so defensive? You don't own me. I don't take $1 of money from any Jewish affiliated group. That's never been what my show's model. I take, Cozy Earth is my sponsor. People like Jen Ucell. Those are the people I take. And I probably would feel reluctant to criticize Jen Ucell, which is a great product. So I probably wouldn't do it anyway. My point is simply, I have my honest opinions, which is why I had credibility for the 2 years I've been defending them, right? And I still have that credibility, and I don't need lectures from my friends who are more pro-Israel than I am, or who are just American Jewish people who are concerned about what's happening. I don't need lectures on my coverage, okay? I'll call it like I see it. And you have no right to come on this show and demand a debate with me because I've said something you disagree with. It's my show.
And they've tried to go after Tucker.
Yeah.
Is that the more you attack our moral character, the more we're going to double down in a direction, because
100%.
Screw you, I don't do it that way, okay?
Right.
Like when, tell me I'm wrong, cool. Tell me if I got my facts wrong. By the way, on the Epstein, Naftali Bennett says he wasn't an Epstein agent. We have to be pursuers of truth. They've denied it. Fine, let's keep digging. Okay, fine. But the thing that I think is being lost is, like, on some part of the population, you can scold them into silence, right? Mm-hmm. But if I have any deviation of a purity test, any deviation whatsoever, so hosting a focus group, right, Megan, with a bunch of our students that went viral, having Dave Smith or Tucker at my event, it is all of a sudden, Charlie is he's no longer with us and all that. I said, wait a second, what do you mean? What does with us mean exactly, right? Mm-hmm. I'm an American, okay? Like, I represent this country, and I don't even understand that paradigm. But Megan, I think you would agree with this. I want to make sure we really zero in on this. Personality types like you, myself, and Tucker, the more that you guys privately and publicly call our character into question, which is not isolated, right? Megan, it would be one thing if
That's
it was
right.
one text or two texts. It is dozens of texts.
Yes.
Then we start to say, hold the boat here. And to be fair, some of my really good Jewish friends are like, that's not all of us, it's all, but they're leaders too, though, right? These are stakeholders, right? And so,
Buddy, but me as an AIPAC person.
What does that mean, an APAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC. They're probably a constituent in your district, but they are firmly embedded in AIPAC, and
Every member has something like this?
that's how it works on the Republican side. And when they come to DC, go have lunch with them, and they've got your cell number, and you have conversations with them.
That's absolutely crazy.
I've had 4 members of Congress say, I'll talk to my AIPAC person. And it's literally what we call them, my AIPAC guy. I'll talk to my AIPAC guy and see if I can get him to dial those ads back.
Why have I never heard this before?
Why would they want to tell their constituents that they've basically got a buddy system with somebody who's representing a foreign country? It doesn't benefit the congressman for people to know that, so they're not going to tell you that.
So, without going too deep down the rabbit hole, what I'm basically saying is we should look into Charlie Cook's murder. And no, that Patsy, that Republican kid who they say killed him, he's a front. He was assassinated by Mossad. Okay? And it's supposed to send a message to Kelly, Megyn Kelly, and Candace Owens, and, the other sets of right-wing people, MAGA people, who disagree with Israel first. That's what I got for you guys. I got a lot more I could tell you guys about, but we'll chill out here. I'm very happy that I did this stream, by the way. And yeah, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, it goes deep because he wanted to find out more about the Epstein files. This is where this all began, and everything links back to Israel. So I think I've said enough. You guys have a great, wonderful, beautiful evening.